What's up guys, Specstar here today with a 2-for-1 DGBA upload. I got my week 5 battle against Dunga and my week 6 battle against Stan here. And the reason it's a 2-for-1 video, honestly I was actually a little bit unsure about if I was going to finish uploading this league. Honestly, I've kind of been out of it. My builds have been kind of fast and rushed. My battles, I haven't really been calcing. I've just kind of been out of it in this league, so I didn't know if I was gonna keep uploading my videos. But I thought that it would be unfair to you guys who have been very great for me if I didn't finish uploading a league that I started uploading. So I've got 2-for-1 battles here, and I may continue to do that for the remainder of the season. Multiple battles in one video. That's a very real possibility, but I will make sure to get out the rest of the battles. I kind of fumbled with my words there, but anyway, here I am against Dunga, and he's got a threatening team here consisting of Megalopony, Darkrai, Rapidash, Garchomp, Rotom, Cut, and Mew. And I've got a team here with a Subseed, somewhat speedy Celesteela, a Scarf special attacking Hoopa, a Choice Banded Zeraora, a specially defensive no attacking Baton Pass Sylveon, a physically defensive Roar Empoleon, a physically defensive Icy Wind Alomomola. So let's just get this battle started. I gotta say, I don't particularly remember what I led off with. Celesteela, that makes sense. I'm gonna lead Steela, he's gonna lead Rotom and get the big time lead matchup over me. I'm gonna go right into Sylveon, which I know can munch hits. He's gonna fire off a Leaf Storm. Here I'm gonna think he's Scarfed and he wants to switch out, so I'm just gonna click Baton Pass. He'll go out into Mew. I didn't go out into Hoopa here, because there's a very real possibility that he was a Colberberry U-turn / Leech Life type of set to bait out Hoopa, and I wanted to see his item before I send Hoopa out on him. So I'm going to go into Empoleon here. I believe I'm just going to get off my rocks here. I will, as he goes for Thunder Wave. And here he's going to defog, and I believe I just went for a knockoff here, which I do. I'm going to see he's leftover, so I know Hoopa's going to do a ton of this thing. And he's going to U-turn out here, and I'm going to opt to get up my rocks. Except, no, I'm not. I'm going to get paralyzed. And that was a costly turn, because I do not have my rocks up for a bit here. I'm going to go into my Alomomola on his Lopunny. He's going to fire off a high jump kick, which I'll take comfortably, because I'm an Alomomola, frankly. Looking like adamant damage to me. I didn't really run Kelso, and I should have. I threw off a Toxic here on his Rotom, and that's good for me. I believe here I'm just going to protect. Yep. I'm going to see him go for the Leaf Storm here. Very much entertaining the possibility that he's Scarfed. Very real possibility here. Him switching out into Lob definitely confirms that to me. And I'm going to go into my Sylveon here. And I believe I just went for the Protect. And he's going to try to fake me out. I'm not really sure. Well, I know why, yeah. To try to put me in range of return. What am I talking about? And he's going to go into the Rotom as I go into my Alomomola. Good play by him. And here I'm going to Protect. I'm going to see him go for the Volt Switch. Again, very seriously entertaining the possibility that he's Scarfed. He goes out into Garchomp here, and I'm going to make the play out into Sylveon, which was just a safe play. And here he's going to go for a Toxic, and I'm just going to Baton Pass out. Just kind of see what he wants to do. I'm going to go onto my Celesteela, which I know can take on that Pokemon pretty well. And I'm going to fire off a Substitute, which should be annoying for him to deal with. He brings out the Mew. Yeah, that was not likely to be able to break my sub. So he goes onto the Rotom as I fire off a Toxic, which is fine with me. He can go for Volt Switch. I'm wearing that thing down, which is nice for me. And I'm just gonna sub up, let him break my sub, get up a new one, see what he wants to do. He's gonna go into Mew, again, very fine with me. And here, I believe I just went for Toxic again. At this point, I was still trying to play safe because I didn't really see what he was gaining out of this whole back and forth thing. But he does go into Rotom again, which is fine with me. He goes for a Volt Switch here. And I believe this time I threw off a Toxic. Yeah, and I unfortunately miss it, which kind of sucks. Would have been nice to have the damage off in the Rapidash. I'm going to go out here into my Empoleon. He's going to go for a Wild Charge, do quite a bit of damage, especially considering I'm physically defensive here. And he's going to go into his Garchomp, and I believe I'm going to go for a Scald. Yep. I'm not going to burn him because, of course, I'm not. That's just, I'm a little bit salty about this game, you can tell. And I'm going to go out here into my Alomomola, and he's going to get up his rocks. So here I believe I just fired off a Toxic on him. No, I went for an Icy Wind here. And I'm going to do 0. He's a bulky Garchomp, and the speed drop's nice, but the damage is not. And I'm going to go for a Toxic again in case he wanted to leave it in and try to wear down my Alomomola. Instead, he goes into Rotom as he's done. And I go into Sylveon as I've done. And he's going to Volt Switch out. And he's going to bring in his Lopunny, which is going to force me the heck out and put me in a little bit of a tricky position here, actually. And I'm going to go ahead into my Alomomola. He's going to go for a Fake Out. I knew I'd be able to Toxic this thing unless he went for a High Jump Kick on the Sylveon, which I didn't see as likely. He goes into his Rotom, and again, I throw off a Toxic on that thing. I've thrown off like 5 Toxics on that. So he's done well predicting that. And he's going to go back into his Lopunny, and I'm actually going to click Protect. I wanted to see what he was going to lock himself into. And he's going to go for the Fake Out here, and I'm going to go for the Protect on the... Actually, he's going for a High Jump Kick, and I'm going to Protect on that. I didn't remember the play as well as it was for me. And here he's going to go for a High Jump Kick again and just take me out of commission. And then I'm going to bring out my Hoopa Unbound, which is Scarf. I'm going to go for a Focus Blast in case he tries to predict Psychic and go into his Darkrai. Fortunately, I'm able to land it. I haven't done as well with other RNG in this battle. He's going to go into his Rapidash, and I'm going to go into a Empoleon again. And he's going to go for a Wild Charge, which is a pretty bold prediction by him, and it pays off. Not 100% sure why he did it, but it worked for him. And here I'm finally going to be able to get up my rocks 30 turns later than I should have been able to, but it is nice to have them at least. So my Empoleon's going to go down here to an Earthquake, and I'm going to bring in my Celesteela, which is my best answer to Garchomp at this point. He's going to bring out his Rotom, and I'm just going to sub up. So he's getting in range of rocks very quickly, which is nice for me. I believe here I may have just subbed up again. He goes on his Rapidash, and I'm going to go for the Substitute. Yep. And he's getting pretty weakened with his Rapidash too. He's going to go for a Flare Blitz. And unfortunately, I'm going to miss my Leech Seed too here. With Leech Seed and Toxic, this Rapidash should have been dead right now. From the Leech Seed turns and the Toxic turns, I probably would have Heavy Slam there if I landed the Toxic earlier, because he would have been in range of the Heavy Slam. My Sylveon's going to go down there. I'm going to bring out my Hoopa, and he's actually going to be Scarf. Again, this thing should have been dead if I landed my Toxic, so you guys can kind of see why I was frustrated and I didn't particularly want to upload battles, why I haven't been so into the league. I haven't really been putting the time. I've been frustrated. Well, you guys see this. Unfortunately, I kind of spoiled it there, but I did lose this battle. He's going to bring out his Garchomp. I'm going to do 42%, and he's going to have 40% left, so I'm just going to click Close Combat again. It'll take him out. No, it won't. He'll survive it on roll. Yeah, not my favorite battle I've ever had. I'm not going to lie about that. And that's kind of why I've been frustrated. I've lost 3 battles in this league, and I've lost 2 of them to the random number generator rather than my own plays. And actually I'm Flash Cannon, not Heavy Slam, but that still should have been able to put the thing in range of it. Regardless, I'm going to lose 3-0 here. It's Pokemon, you can't control that. Definitely no ill will towards the opponent here. It's beyond his control. GG to my opponent here. He played well, and he had a pretty interesting build that definitely caught me off guard in a few places, like the Scarf Rapidash. So good on him. And that's going to be the end of that battle. And my next battle here is against Stan, and I have got to flip the side here. I forgot to do that. Let me switch sides, and there we go. Alright, so I'm going to battle Stan now, and he has got himself a team here consisting of Landorus Therian, Scizor, Serperior, Miltank, Mega Charizard X, and Aromatisse. And I've got a team here with, I believe this Latios is mix attacking. No, it wasn't. No, it wasn't. Was it? I forget if I had Earthquake or Draco Meteor as my last move, but I also had Roost, Psychic, and Hidden Power Fire. Yes, it was Earthquake because he had a Muckalolan which didn't show up, and I was set to a KO with my Earthquake. I had a Celesteela here which was Leech Seed, Toxic, Flamethrower, and Heavy Slam. I had a Zeraora which was Firium Z, Outrage? I'm remembering if it was Outrage or Dual Chop. I believe it was Outrage, then Plasma Fist, and Hidden Power Ice, with Fire Punch of course. And the Firium Z was just to make sure I could revenge kill Serperior. The rest of my team didn't do it as easily. My next mon was a physically defensive Empoleon with Scald, Toxic, Stealth Rock, and Defog, just to make sure I could kind of control the hazard situation. If he brought a Spinner, the Defog could have been potentially nice for me. Then I've got an Alomomola, which is, interestingly enough, I invested in its attack enough to make sure that Liquidation could break the sub of a Mega Charizard X. I also had Toxic, Wish, Protect. And my Drapion is Choice Banded with enough speed for Landorus Therian. I had Knockoff, Poison Jab, Fire Fang, and Ice Fang, I believe. I may have had Pursuit over Fire Fang, so don't quote me on that. And yeah, it's not a Spec Star battle video unless I'm remembering my sets. I literally did this battle like 30 minutes ago. I don't remember my sets completely. That's a quintessential Spec Star. Must be too much Diet Pop, I think. Anyway, I'm gonna lead off here with, I believe, let me just cheat here. I believe I'll lead off with Latios. Yep. Latios gave me a good matchup against Charizard, Scizor, Landorus, and Serperior, and I knew if he led off with either Miltank or Aromatisse, I got my Empoleon in, and I got to get on my rocks, so very content to do so. I wasn't scared of his rocks at all because I knew he had pressure to defog, and if he didn't defog, the rocks for rocks trade was going to be a lot worse for him than it was for me. He's got this Pokemon called Charizard, and I have no rock weaknesses of my own. So here he's going to lead off with a Miltank. I've got my Latios. I'm going to go right out into my Empoleon, as I said. He's going to throw off a Toxic, which is perfectly fine with me. Here I'm going to get up rocks. He's going to Earthquake me. Now I'm going to go into my Celesteela because I know I can still save that Empoleon and get value out of it later. And I'm pretty sure he won't be able to do much to me. He gets up his rocks. I'm going to fire off a Toxic. He's going to go into Landorus. I know Landorus isn't touching me, so I'm just going to go for a Heavy Slam here. He'll set up his Gravity, which pretty interesting play. I'm going to go into my Alomomola, and he's going to fire off his Tectonic Rage, which Alomomola is just going to munch because, well, it's Alomomola. I know I take an Earthquake here, so I'm just going to Wish up. He's going to go into his Aromatisse, and I'm actually going to click Protect in case he tries to Toxic me, but instead he goes for Heal Bell, so it wasn't really the best turn for me. I know I'm going to be able to get my status back up, so that's not the end of the world. I'm going to throw off a Toxic on his Aromatisse, and he's going to Toxic my Alomomola. I went for a Toxic just because with I'm getting ahead. With the Heal Bell slot, I thought his last moves would be Wish, Protect, and Moonblast. I definitely didn't think he would have Toxic, so I was just going to go for a Toxic on the Aromatisse because I knew that if he wished up, I could have just clicked Liquidation and not let Landorus come back in. If he went for Moonblast, I would have been able to regenerate all the damage back up. But he does end up having he doesn't wind up having the Toxic, so he's probably not Moonblast. I would think he would probably have to have Wish and Protect to get any value out of this thing. But he does get the Toxic off of my Alomomola, which is not great for the Alomomola, but I guess it's not necessarily the end of the world. And then I'm going to make the play out into Drapion, which I know can put pressure on his team. I thought he may opt to kind of scout and see what my Drapion is, so I went just for a Poison Jab right away to punish him if he left this in. He knows now that I'm getting ahead of myself. I know now that, or he knows now, why do I have this on normal? It should be on slow. Anyway, he knows now that I'm banded Drapion based on the damage on Aromatisse. So he's a free switch into Scizor. I know this, and I'm going to go into my Celesteela, which, A, if he leaves an Aromatisse, it's not the end of the world at all for Celesteela. B, it definitely catches Scizor. So that's what I'm going to do there. I'm going to go right into my Celesteela. And he is, yep, he's going to go right out into his Scizor, so the play is going to pay off here. And I'm just going to safely go for a Flamethrower. I didn't even mind showing it because I'm fairly good with my team against Scizor, so it wasn't too big of a secret for me that I had to hide. He's going to bring out his Charizard. He is really low health. If he has to roost up here, or else this Mon's kind of out the window. It's gone. So I know that he has to roost here. I know he has roost. I know he has to roost. I guess alternatively, it's more likely he would Dragon Dance and attack this even if he didn't have roost. That's what I think. So I'm just going to throw off a Toxic with my Steel on the Charizard, and it's going to make it easier for me to bring in my Alomomola and deal with this Mon. So I'm going to throw off my Toxic, and he is going to roost up, so we're going to get that play right. And I'm going to go into my Alomomola here, which is just my best way to stall this thing out. I'm going to bring it in. He's going to Dragon Dance up. If he didn't Dragon Dance, I probably would have thrown off a Toxic, thinking he may want to save this. But since he Dragon Danced, I thought he was just ready to go for broke with his Pokemon. And I'm just going to click Liquidation. Do pretty decent damage to this thing. I'm going to click Liquidation again here, thinking he's probably going to want to roost up. And that's what I'm going to do here. And I want to pause for a second this turn. If I Protect and he attacks me, he dies and Alomomola's alive. I initially click Protect, and then I click Cancel. And the reason I click Cancel is because I thought it was risky if he did opt to roost up, which was fairly no drawbacks for him. Even though I was pretty sure he would attack me. And a Liquidation was ultimately just my safer play, so I am just going to click Liquidation here. And he's going to fire off a Dragon Claw, and he's going to take me out, which is fine. It's really nice to have that Charizard down because I'm setting Zero Aura up to win. Charizard's down, which really munches anything except for Outrage, which I do not want to lock Zero Aura into. I've got Landorus really weakened, and I know he's not Scarf, so Zero Aura does not ever fear that. I'm really starting to put him in position. I just need to get off either a lot of chip or have it be Toxic and switch out on Aromatisse, and then our Miltank, actually. I need Zero Aura is gonna do enough to Aromatisse. I need that damage off on Miltank, excuse me, or Poison. So because I don't have close combat on this, I opted to go for the Outrage instead, which I'm going to regret here as Charizard goes down to a non-Zero Aura attack. I do have Aromatisse in range, so excuse my mistake there. I'm going to bring out my Latios, which is very comfortable against most of his Pokemon, all except for Miltank, which I have Celesteela as an always in on. I'm going to take down his Aromatisse here. He's going to bring out his Serperior. I'm just going to go for a Psychic. I do not need this Latios, as nice as it is. It's just best for me to not let this Pokemon set up. So I'm going to keep clicking Psychic. I'm going to break his sub here, and he is not bringing another sub back. I'm just going to go for another Psychic. He's going to go into Scizor. I'm going to do a ton of damage. Here, I don't want to let him Sword Stance. This game's mine unless I screw it up, and the way to screw it up was letting him Sword Stance, so I just clicked Hidden Power Fire with my Latios, and I'll let him KO me with U-Turn. That's fine with me. He's going to bring out his Miltank, and that lets me get Celesteela in, which he does not deal with well. I'm going to fire off a Toxic. He's going to go into Scizor, very fine with me. I'm going to go for a Flamethrower. He's going to knock me off, do a little bit of damage, and I'm going to click Flamethrower, but he still does not have anything to bring this in now that my item's gone. I mean, he can't really capitalize on that. He's going to bring out his Superior first. I'm not really sure why. It's going to go down to Rocks there. Now he's going to bring out his Landorus. He can't touch me. I'm just going to click Flamethrower. And he's going to set up his Gravity, which is fine with me. I have 2 defense boosts, and Miltank is not the most powerful Pokemon in the world. Celesteela is probably the bulkiest Pokemon in the world. Not exactly, but it's up there. He's going to Earthquake me into 17 because Steela's a monster. I'm going to get off a Toxic on him, and I'm just going to click Heavy Slams here. He's going to Earthquake me. I'll click Heavy Slam, and I'm just trying to get him down in a range. And I'm going to Heavy Slam him again here. He'll Earthquake me. He's going to put me in a range of another Earthquake, and I could have potentially saved Differential by going out into Empoleon. I didn't really care to do so. I'm just going to let my Steel go down, and I'm going to take my win here, 3-0 against Stan. GG to Stan. He's a good subscriber and viewer of the channel, so he's my boy. I had fun playing this game. And that's going to be it for this video. Apologize if you guys don't like it being 2 battles in 1 video, I should say, but oh well. I definitely didn't want to shaft you guys out of the rest of this league season as much as I haven't really been into it. I didn't want me not being into it to kind of cost you guys some videos and some closure to the season to see what really happens. And I want to thank you guys for watching. Have yourselves a good night.